Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Beverages and Bytes. My name is Brandon Samuel. I am the sales manager for Convergent Technologies Group. Today, I am joined by your storage specialist from Hewlett Packard Enterprise covering Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland. We have Deb Gray, Rob Fichter, and Katie Stegall. Doing things a little bit different this week. In the past couple of weeks, we've had more of a technical presence on the Beverage and Bytes podcast. And I wanted to switch it up a little bit. This is HPE's Discover Week for 2020. Everything is being done virtually, but there's a lot of excitement around Hewlett Packard Enterprise and some of the new product announcements that have started to come out. So we wanted to have more of a sales conversation, introduce you to some of the team that you may be working with down the road, and just talk about storage and kind of where storage is now and where they see it going in the future. So to kick it off, I want to have each of you kind of go around and do more of a formal introduction. Tell us, the territory you cover and that sort of thing, and we'll go from there. So we'll start with Deb.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Deb Gray, and I'm the HPE Storage Sales Specialist for Maryland. I'm one of those folks who was with HP for a while, then I left and then came back. So total time with HP is probably about 7.5 years. Been in the industry for a long time and actually have sold HP solutions for a long time, including at one time having been a partner for 16 years. Native to Maryland, and I live in the Odenton, Maryland area. And one of the reasons why I came back to HP was specifically because of Nimble and InfoSight. And those of you who don't know what that is, we certainly can have a discussion with you about it. But once I learned really just about the high level of support satisfaction and great customer experience customers were having with Nimble, it made me a believer, and I came back.
Seems like they always come back, right, Deb?
They do.
They do, yes.
All right, Rob.
I am Rob Fichter. I am a storage specialist for what I like to call the rest of Virginia. I have everything but Northern Virginia. So it's not Nova, it's Rova. And I live just outside of Richmond, Virginia, right in the middle of the territory, which is the best place to live to cover this. I came here from Nimble. I was at Nimble about a year before the acquisition. I've been here almost 2.5 years as a actually HPE employee. What brought me to Nimble and now with HPE was again what Jeff said with InfoSight and the support they had that drew me. I was a customer of Nimble. I ran a data center and I was using their storage and selling that to my customers as a storage as a service. Fell in love with the product and made the move, came over here, and very happy. That's about it.
Very nice. And Katie?
Yeah, so I'm Katie Stegall. I cover Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia, and I live right here in Arlington, so right in the heart of the territory. This July, I'm coming up on my 5-year anniversary with HPE, so it's been a great ride. Before this, I was at a reseller, so I did have the chance to sell HPE at a reseller as well, and I just love the products, and ever since we did acquire Nimble a couple of years ago, it's been wonderful, and it's really changed everything, like Deb said, with InfoSight. And I'm just really excited about the vision of our company and where we're going for clients with, the intelligent data platform and making everything hybrid. So really excited to talk to everyone today. And thanks for having us, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're quite welcome. I definitely appreciate your time as well. Let's kind of kick it off with talking a little bit about the portfolio and in particular, some of the products that you guys are seeing a lot of traction with. I've been with Convergent for 10 years now, and I've seen quite a bit of storage products come through HPE, starting with Left Hand, which became Store Virtual, which kind of led into the whole hyper-converged, route for HPE, if you will. The MSA, now you've got 3PAR and Primera and Nimble and SimpliVity. What are you guys seeing the most interest in and why? And I guess whoever wants to go first can kind of kick off.
Now, for my customers, I'm seeing the most interest in Nimble, and a lot of it's for the reasons that we've kind of already talked about. It's, one of the easiest platforms to manage. It has one of the best effective capacity rates in the industry with our dedupe technologies, very secure. And the thing that's great about InfoSight is the fact that it enables you to see the entire stack, meaning at the storage level, the compute level, your network level, your VM level. So for a lot of customers who have very few resources and have to manage all of those different aspects of the infrastructure, and you think about, some database guy comes to you and says, hey, the storage is slow. InfoSight gives you the ability to actually take a look at that stack and realize, hey, it's not really the storage, it's the network, or it's this particular workload. So it very quickly helps the administrators solve those types of problems, respond more quickly back to the business.
I agree with Deb. I'm definitely seeing that for my customers, the majority of our business is nimble for the ease of use, and just for the power of InfoSight. Aside from what she said, taking it further with the labs that we have now. So if there are issues, you can go in, to InfoSight, go into the labs, and they'll give you, it's a recommendation engine to where they'll say, we recommend you, make these changes on the VMware level, and you'll see increased performance. So it's taking a lot of the work away, the guessing work out of, away from the admins, and it's just really, it makes for such a great experience. And then, the flexibility to be able to have a hybrid array or all flash or a mixture of both. It really, makes it so that our customers can pick whichever, works best for that particular scenario or work case that, they have. And then with DHCI too, which Rob, I know, you've seen some success with, it just makes it even better.
Yeah,
I agree.
Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you guys went first, because coming from Nimble, I'm a little bit biased, and of course, Nimble is what I'm doing it most with. But I will add to that, though. What I like about coming to HP and the portfolio we have, yes, Nimble seems to be the center of where we start every conversation and move out from there. But with hyperconverged, now we have DHCI. We're doing so much with simplicity, right? With the backup of store once and the cloud bank, and when you have that priority data, the Primera, that such a story that we can tell that, again, I think starts with Nimble and kind of goes out in many different directions. So.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we've done, InfoSight is really kind of like the enabler. It makes all these things that we've been discussing possible. And HP has invested in our portfolio, and we've rolled out InfoSight to pretty much everything now within the portfolio. So that predictive analytics and the cross-stack, telemetry information that we're talking about is available on SimpliVity as well.
Okay, I want to go back really quickly. Katie actually mentioned this kind of in passing, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into it, because I feel like DHCI has really kind of fixed the inherent kind of legacy issues that hyperconverged infrastructure kind of brought to the table. Having to scale both your compute and your storage at the same time. Who wants to dive a little bit deeper into what DHCI is and kind of how it solves that problem?
Sure. I mean, I can touch on it really quickly, and then Deb and Rob, you take it from there. But so DHCI is basically taking our two, proven technologies in Nimble storage and the HP DL servers, and then we built a management software to run on top of them in order for, management and provisioning of, the servers and the storage and networking. So you have the simplicity, not SimpliVity, of hyperconverged, the ease of management, everything that you love about hyperconverged, but it's what we call disaggregated, so you can scale it separately. You can scale, the servers if that's what you need, or the storage if that's what you need. So it gives you a lot more flexibility, which we're seeing is, really big for our customers, because SimpliVity is a fantastic product, especially with the data compression that we have in it, and with the backup and replication technology. But it's not a fit for everyone, with having to scale in that way with servers and storage at once. But Deb,
Yeah.
I mean, hyperconverge is kind of your, specialty. So I'd love to hear kind of what you think about it as well.
Actually, I'm seeing more interest in DHCI than I am hyperconverged. And I know, Rob, your experience is a little bit different than mine. And some of it's just I'm having a lot of discussions with engineering and architecture firms. And honestly, a lot of the compute, the processing is done on the desktop. So when you think about that, they're most
Yeah.
definitely scaling their storage resources at a faster pace than they are compute. But as Katie said already, it gives them all that simplicity that HCI offers, but the ability to scale separately. And the other thing I love about it is if you are an existing HPE ProLiant customer and you have like Gen 9, Gen 10 servers, then you can actually turn your more current servers into a DHCI solution by ordering, a DHCI nimble array. So it's not like you have to invest in the
great
full, you're maintaining that investment that you have in your servers. And you can even bring your own type of switches, whether it's Cisco or our Aruba switches. So it really enables you to protect the investment that you've already made.
And obviously, we would love those to be Aruba switches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
yes,
would.
yes. And Deb makes a good point. So Rob is down here in Richmond, where Convergent is located. And Rob, if I'm not mistaken, you've kind of been on the different side of it. You've seen kind of an uptick in the SimpliVity opportunities. So is that correct, or?
It is. I would say the majority of my accounts are hyperconverged in one way or the other, either SimpliVity or DHCI, and it's probably equal 50-50 on which one I'm doing, depending on the scenario. So I'm just doing a lot. I mean, hyperconverged is coming up in almost every single conversation, and I will say that Nimble teased me with this 3.5 years ago with sales kickoff, that they were already coming out with this HCI solution, and they teased us with us, and then 6 months later, it was supposed to be released later that year, and 6 months later, HP comes in and kind of got put in the back shelf. So I've been loving this idea for years, the way they do it, the way you can bring your own network in. I think it's very exciting. But this software was developed, and the software is really the key here, right? Nimble's great. Those ProLiant servers, I've done ProLiant servers for, since they were compact. I love them. They're great. But it's really the software that ties those together, and it's really the simplicity of it that I think really is the secret sauce to everything. So, but I'm thinking about, I mean, it really depends on the use case. I mean, you have 20, 30 locations. I think SimpliVity really makes sense for that. If you're worried about the backups and everything like that, that's what really makes sense. But again, if you're dealing with professional services and groups like that, where data and not compute is really their is their main usage, then the HCI is definitely going to make more sense. So I've seen it both ways. I have some customers that can't decide. It really comes down to we have to go through a bunch of use cases of what really is going to make sense on it, actually, for presenting those solutions to them.
Yeah, and I think that the ability to do kind of what Deb alluded to with the brownfield install is a big plus on the DHCI side. That's really cool to know, and it's kind of good for customers too. If you've just made an investment in your compute, you obviously don't want to throw away that investment just because you're looking at a hyperconverged solution. So giving that kind of flexibility is a very good thing. As far as Convergent is concerned, we've seen it a kind of 50-50 as well, Rob, as far as interest in SimpliVity versus DHCI. I think a lot of it has to do with whether or not the customer is looking at replacing their entire stack or just a portion of it.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at backup and you're including backup in your replacement, SimpliVity makes a ton of sense.
It does.
If you're looking at VDI, for instance, SimpliVity makes a ton of sense. But then there's use cases for DHCI. It really does become a customer preference, and it's really nice to kind of have both of the arrows in your quiver, if you will, to go to the customer and say, it's your choice, whatever you feel like is best for your business.
Yeah, that actually you made a key point, because when I was with HPE, the first time, and then I left and went to Nutanix. So we can talk about hyperconverged. And from that perspective, one of the biggest obstacles we found, to be all honest with you, besides the workloads not being maybe certified on their hypervisor, was the fact that customers had separate refresh cycles, especially if they had separate teams, like a compute team and a storage team. They had separate refresh cycles. It was very difficult sometimes to disrupt that refresh cycle. So again, if you've got like the ProLiant Gen 10 servers, and you can purchase the, the DHCI Nimble. And oh, by the way, it's the same cost as Nimble. So you're not actually paying anything more for that software that gives you
great
that
point.
capability. It makes perfect sense. Because it gives them a step towards, hyperconvergence.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
I think like, this discussion really leads into, what a lot of our customers really like about working with HPE is that we have a broad portfolio. So we're really able to dive into your use case, your needs, and find a solution that works best for you and for the future of your company. And that also leads into, needing to have some workloads in the cloud. We have options that way. We have, backup that a lot of people aren't even aware of. So, I mean, again, I think it just all leads into one of the greatest things about working for HPE, and that's, we really have a portfolio that can fit most any client.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're really looking for when we meet with people.
And Katie, I think you're so right. We're not selling product right here. We're selling solutions, and we really can't say that because we have the portfolio to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's nice to be a platinum partner with you guys, and then particularly an exclusive platinum partner, because we don't feel handcuffed at all when we walk into any situation, because we really do feel like there's multiple different options, multiple different ways to solve a problem, and HPE has the solution no matter what it is. Kind of a lead-in topic. Again, Katie kind of alluded to this, but another thing that came over with the Nimble acquisition was cloud volumes. And we're starting to, well, not really starting to, I mean, we're really in the thick of customers really considering what the cloud looks like. How can their company utilize it? Not will they, how will they? Because for the most part, most people have something in the cloud, whether it's, an Office 365 or whatever it may be. People have started making that leap. So who wants to touch a little bit on what HPE Cloud Volumes is and how it was designed for customers to use?
Okay, you brought it up. How about you?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's put you on the spot, right?
Yeah, put you on the spot.
So Cloud Volumes is an HPE service. Basically, we have data centers that are adjacent to AWS and Azure data centers, and they have, direct connection. So we have our own data centers with Nimble hardware on them. So if you're a Nimble customer, you can replicate to our data center to Cloud Volumes, utilize the storage, Nimble storage, and then utilize compute of AWS and Azure, whether it be for, a test dev workload, a DR scenario. We also have Cloud Volumes Backup, which is, a backup solution as opposed to a block storage solution. So it gives you a lot of flexibility, and you're getting the reliability, the performance, the uptime of Nimble storage, but your data is with us. It's not in, AWS or Azure. So you don't have, the data lock-in. You don't have the egress fees when you want to take it out, and you can really decide who you want to use for compute. So it gives you a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
I
Okay, Brad.
Good. Nice. Go ahead.
Now, I was just going to say that's, I think, resonating well with customers a lot for what Katie said last. You don't have the egress charges. So, there are a lot of organizations where perhaps, management, finance thinks that it's cheaper to move to the cloud, and public cloud that is. And then they soon find out after a year or two that it really isn't, that they're paying significantly more. And, and then once you're trying to back out, it's, that's why they called it, like Hotel California, you can't get out easy, that's for sure. So with Cloud Volumes, you don't have that issue, and you're not paying those egress charges. So it's all about choice. If you decided for whatever reason that that's not a path that you wanted to go down anymore, then you're not having to pay a huge price to get out of using Cloud Volumes. So, we make sure that we protect our customers and give them the choice that they need to navigate depending upon, what their business requirements are.
I can sum it up in a couple words. It's cloud data, but better performance, better visibility and management at the same or better price than you're paying right now. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, we've definitely seen on the pricing side that it is super competitive. It's starting to garner a lot of interest, so definitely a product that we're excited about. Go ahead,
Oh,
Katie.
sorry.
No,
I
please.
just wanted to quickly touch on, it's worth noting as well that we have another solution called Cloud Bank, where we can go from our Store Once backup appliance, and that's basically for long-term archival. So, in the real, cheap and deep cloud data, if you want to eliminate tapes or just you need a place to put data for a long time, we have a way to go from your HPE environment to that as well. So again, it just goes into, we have a lot of flexibility and a lot of different, solutions we can architect for our client strategy.
Very cool. Switching gears a little bit, we're kind of running up on time, so I had a couple other topics I wanted to get to really quickly. We've been selling HPE product for a long time at Convergent. I've sold a lot of 3PARs to customers back when 3PAR was brought into HPE. I think it was around 2012. And we've started to see those customers come up for refresh cycles. And we found, not to beat a dead horse, but Nimble seems to be a very good fit for those people that are looking at refreshing their 3PAR arrays. And there's a couple of tools that are out there to make that refresh and that data migration even easier. So I think it's called RMC. Is that correct? Is that the migration tool that's used between 3PAR and Nimble? So, if anyone wants to elaborate on that a little bit about ease of use and everything.
Rob, you want to take this one?
You take the RMC.
Me?
Yeah, you got it. You brought it up earlier.
Okay, here we go. So RMC is Recovery Manager Central. It's basically, you get it as, when you're licensed with 3PAR and with Nimble, and it also is a part of our Store One. So it's basically an HPE data mover that allows you to, move from one platform to the other. And this is in a really, simple sense, right? There's a lot more to it, but we've got experts for that. So it is a way, to move from 3PAR to Nimble, and make it a really easy migration if that should be the right, solution for our customers next.
Yeah, and we're migrating to the cloud, or it's moving data between any of your HPE
Yeah.
devices.
And
RMC is also what would move you to Cloud Bank, for instance.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And I was also saying, did you say non-disruptive too? I wasn't sure if I caught that.
Sorry.
Yep.
And this is an included license too, so it's not something that you have to purchase in order to move the data. It's just part of the feature set.
Correct.
One thing hasn't changed, Brandon. Everything with Nimble, every feature and function is available at no extra charge, whether you use it or not. And when new features come out, you get them for free.
Take it from a guy that's done 120 line item 3PAR quotes in the past. Doing a 2 or 3 line item Nimble quote is the most wonderful thing.
Yeah. See, we can really appreciate it, Brandon, because we used to have to do it the other way.
Exactly. Yeah, it was always a lot of fun. Kind of to wrap it up a little bit, let's talk about a topic that maybe people don't know about HPE, that I feel like, and I know, based on conversations with you all, I feel like it's kind of picking up steam, and that is the Complete Partner Program. I think that's the name of it.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So HPE partners with a lot of other manufacturers that fill a need or maybe fill a gap, or just a product that they see a lot of promise in.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be a product that's software only, and HPE has designed hardware specific to run it. Cumula comes to mind, Veeam comes to mind, Cohesive comes to mind.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on kind of what that program looks like and what it means for end users?
So to your point, HP strives to be number one, number two in the market in any of our, products within the portfolio. And if we can't be, then we partner with those organizations who are. And what that really means to a customer is they can work through a partner like you, or those instances where maybe they're HP Direct, and they can get the full solution. So they could get like Cumulo software if they're looking to replace Isilon, those types of workloads. They would put Isilon on our ProLiant servers, It is a reference architecture, which means we've worked directly with engineering at Cumulo, and we know that this works. We can assure certain performance, and we provide support for it. So they're going to call us first. They don't have to pick up a phone and call HP or call Cumulo because they're not really sure what the problem is. They call HP. And if we need to reach out to Cumulo, then we do that on their behalf. They don't do that. So it makes for a really good solution for the customer because they've got, you know, everything under one umbrella. And all the partners within that program, such as Cumulo and Veeam and Cetera, and gosh, there's probably more than a dozen now.
Yeah,
their account
Zerto.
team there's a lot of them. Their account teams get credit for it, so there's also no conflict. So that we're very strong partners, you know, working and selling together to solve customers' problems.
Right. If our portfolio wasn't deep enough before, we had those partners in, and we could complete story to tell.
Yeah, and it definitely is cool to be able to, you know, walk into a customer and hear, you know, there's an opportunity for Cumulo, and you know, maybe Convergent doesn't have a strong relationship with Cumulo, but we're able to leverage our platinum relationship with HPE and work with you all and your teams to make sure that the key is that, you know, when it's a hardware play, it's purpose built hardware made to run that application or that software. So they've taken all the overhead into account and everything like that, and they're put out a product that will run, you know, optimally in the customer's environment. It's a really cool thing to have.
So for each one, we publish, you know, a reference architecture along with best practices. So again, to your point, it's an engineered together with that software organization solution. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Brandon, do we have 1 more minute? I know we're trying to wrap up.
Please.
One thing I think we should talk about is Green Lake very quickly.
Oh, yes, please. We'd be certainly remiss if we didn't bring up Green Lake in the conversation.
So Green Lake, basically, and coming from the data center background, I'm going to word it a little bit differently, but just how when I got calls with this for the many years I was with the data center business, it's basically it's a private cloud on-prem, right? So for customers who are looking for that consumable, they want the cloud experience, but they want private hardware. They don't want shared environment, and they want it on their premises, whether it be a data center they're renting, but they want control of it, and we allow them to do that. You can scale up and down. Monthly prices can go up and down depending on your usage. So it's a usage based, but it's a cloud experience on your own equipment. It's really starting to take off. We're hearing more and more about it. So it's very good as well to drop that in there.
Yeah. Hey, we could have another one of these discussions just on Green Lake.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It seems like Green Lake really is the flagship behind Antonio's promise of HPE being an as-a-service company in the next couple of years.
Yep.
You know, it's come a long way from when it was released a few years ago. In fact, I just read an article, I believe it was on CRN yesterday, that they've come up with some new offerings, and they've kind of streamlined the process around Green Lake to get the quotes done faster and to give more choices that you can build upon. So we're definitely starting to talk to a lot more customers about it. With COVID and everything, and a lot of companies being in a cost containment type of situation. That doesn't mean the equipment doesn't still need to be replaced. It doesn't mean that you know, they have to stop buying things. You know, the businesses still have to run. And Green Lake gives you a really good operational type of approach to business that allows you to pay as you go and pay as you grow. But get you hardware when you need it without you having to wait. So it is a really cool product, and we're excited to see where it goes in the future.
Yeah, the other thing I thought that was interesting, I'm not sure what that was. Antonio announced this yesterday. So the one other aspect of Green Lake is the ability to buy back your existing hardware. So, and then structure that you know, within an OpEx model. And I think to date, we've actually bought back 500 million. Is it 500 million? Yeah, I think it's 500 million in existing assets that customers already owned and structured it as an OpEx model for them. So that gives them a cash infusion, which times like this can be very necessary. Yeah. So a lot of customers are truly taking advantage of that.
Yeah, the buyback programs have really been big recently. And because this is an HPE conversation, I'll say this as well. HPE Financial Services has really done a fantastic job of putting together some programs specific to COVID-19 and kind of this whole situation that we all have found ourselves in over the past few months. I've had more customers in the past 3 months ask me about financing options than I've had in the past 5 years. And you know, there's deferred payments. There's all sorts of different programs. So if you're a customer and you're looking, you need to replace hardware and you're worried about the upfront expenditure, don't let that stop you. There's certainly ways that, you know, we can all work together. The four of us here on this call will work together to make sure pricing is good. We can work with financial services. We can come up with good plans to make sure that you get the hardware you need when you need it and your business doesn't suffer because of it. Before I wrap it up, was there anything that I didn't touch on that you guys feel compelled to talk about, or do you feel like we've kind of touched on everything?
Did we talk
No,
about Nimble?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think
we did.
I think we showed that's a hell of a product. So,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you.
I appreciate you all doing this. And for those of you watching, if you've heard anything that is of interest to you, or if there's anything that you want to learn more about, please feel free to reach out to sales@ctgva.com, or you can call us at 804-353-5307. No matter where you are, whatever your interest may be, I'll make sure that I get you hooked up with the correct HPE representative, and we'll work together to find a solution for you. So Deb, Rob, Katie, I certainly appreciate your time today. Have a fun remainder of Discover Week, and we certainly look forward to working with the three of you as customers need it. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a